For the past 3 months, I've done nothing but research. I've watched literally hundreds of YouTube videos on building agencies.
I've talked to people who are already doing this, and now I'm ready to build.
I'm starting an AI automation agency from scratch, and I'm going to document the entire journey. And this isn't a here's what I did video, and I'm trying to make it here's exactly what I'm gonna do it video. And this is my complete blueprint based on everything I have learned. So in the next 20 minutes, I'm sharing the entire strategy, the types of clients I'm targeting first, the 5 core services I'm going to offer, the exact tech stack I'm investing in, and the marketing approach I'm betting on. And at the end of the video, I'm revealing the biggest mistake I've seen others make that I'm determined to avoid, because I've studied enough failed attempts to know what not to do. So let me tell you why I'm actually doing this. So I'm running my SaaS agency, and honestly I was skeptical about AI. Every time someone brought it up, I thought, here we go again, another overhyped trend. The moment that changed my mind was when I started experimenting with it. Not because I believed the hype, but because I was curious, and I built an automation for our customer support. Just testing it out to see if it actually is useful, right? And the thing that shocked me was that one automation which saved us 15 hours a week. Our support cost dropped by 60%. Response time went from 4 hours to 4 minutes, and the quality was actually better than what I expected. That's when everything clicked. I wasn't looking at 10% improvement, I was looking at transformation. And I realized if this is working for me, every business out there is going to need this. The problem is, most of them have no clue where to start. I've done a detailed video on why I'm starting an AI automation agency, and I will leave the link somewhere here. So I went deep. I mean really deep. I spent 3 months consuming everything I could find on AI automation. I watched every how to build an agency video I could find, read case studies from people who have done this, studied the failures, what made AI agencies crash and burn, talked to agency owners, consultants, people already in the trenches basically, and analyzed the market, the tools, and the opportunities. I filled 3 Notion databases with notes. I wanted to know exactly what works, what doesn't, and what I'm walking into before I start. Why now is the big question which I ask myself. And here's what I learned from all the research. See, we are at the perfect moment. The technology is mature enough to work reliably. The costs have dropped dramatically. But most importantly, there's this massive gap between businesses who know they need AI and businesses who actually have implemented AI. And that gap, that's the opportunity, and that's where I'm going in. But here's what I've learned from studying all these agencies. You can't just call yourself an AI agency and hope for the best. You need razor-sharp positioning. And the positioning I have developed, it's based on I've seen work consistently across dozens of successful agencies, and let me break it down for you. So step 1 is choosing my niche. This is the most critical decision, and I've seen so many people getting this wrong. They try to be AI for everyone and end up being AI for no one actually. So based on everything I have researched, I'm going after B2B service businesses. Here's why. Number 1 is I understand this world. I came from SaaS. I know how tech companies and B2B services operate. I understand their pain points, their budgets, their decision-making process. That's my unfair advantage. They have repetitive, high-value work, customer support, lead qualification, data processing. These businesses are drowning in tasks that AI can handle within minutes, and the companies know it. Another reason is they have budgets. Professional services, consulting firms, marketing agencies. These aren't bootstrapped startups which I'm going for. These are giant corporations. They invest in tools and save time and increase margins. They're all about ROIs. And that's why These businesses understand monthly retainers, cost per acquisition, time saved calculations, opportunity cost. I can show them ROI in the language they already speak. Now you may ask, could I have picked e-commerce, healthcare, real estate? Sure, but based on my research and my background, B2B services is where I have the highest probability of success in the first 90 days. That's like three months. Now regarding the service stack, I have analyzed again dozens of successful AI agencies, and here's what I've learned. They all start with 2 to 3 core services. Prove those work, then expand. So here are the 5 services I am building towards, but I'm starting with just 2. So the number 1 service which I'm going to build first is AI-powered customer support. So these are intelligent chatbots for websites, voice AI for phone support, email automation that feels human, and research shows that $2,000 to $5,000 is for setup, and then on an average $1,000 to $500 per month as a retainer. The second service I would build is lead generation and qualification. So automated lead scoring systems, AI-powered outreach sequences, intelligent meeting booking is another service which I'm going to build, and the market rate is around $3,000 to $7,000 for setup, and the monthly retainer would be around $1,000 to $2,500 per month. And the third service is automating the content and marketing funnel. So in this, what I'm going to do is have a systematic content generation platform, social media automation, email campaign creation, and the market rate is around $2,500 to $5,000 for setup, and $800 to $2,000 for as a monthly retainer fee. Another service is automating the data processing and analysis. This includes automating the reporting dashboards, cleaning data and processing it, having a business intelligence automation setup, and the market rate for this would be around $4,000 to $8,000 for setup and $1,000 to $3,000 per month. Another service which most of the people go after is workflow automation. So this includes automating the internal processes, automating the document processing systems, automating the CRM, and the market rate would be around $5,000 to $10,000 for setup, and monthly you can charge somewhere around $1,500 to $3,500 per month. So I'm starting with services 1 and 2, which is the customer support and lead qualification. Why? Because I've already built these for my own SaaS business. I have proof they work. I can show real results. Start with what you can prove. Now, here's where I spend weeks going down the rabbit holes, trying to figure out the tech stack. See, everyone recommends different tools, but after all my research, I have landed on a stack that balances power with simplicity. And let me show you what I'm investing in. So I have tested probably 30 different tools, and here's what I'm actually going to use. And this shouldn't cost me more than $250 to $300 per month to start with. So the first layer is Claude API and ChatGPT API, because after testing both extensively, Claude is better for complex, nuanced tasks, and ChatGPT is faster for simple, high-volume stuff. And I'm going to use both strategically. I'm going to use OpenRouter as well, because this lets me access multiple AI models through one API, and I think that's critical for testing and optimization. Another layer is the automation platforms. I tested Make, Zapier, and N8N, and Make won for visual workflow, building the complexity I need, and the learning curve is worth it. N8N will be for more advanced workflows down the line, self-hostable and open source. And for voice AI, I have tested Wappy, Bland AI, and a few others. And Wappy's documentation is better, and their voice quality is more natural. This is for phone-based customer support. So this I'm gonna use for the phone-based customer support. Another layer is Pinecone. So Pinecone vector database for making AI agents smart about specific business contexts, essential for good chatbots. Now the fifth layer would be front-end or the interface. Voice Flow, which I'm going to use for building chatbot interfaces, clean, professional, and clients can see the flow visually. And Bubble for customer client dashboards and portals I can scale. And the sixth layer would be analytics and monitoring, where Helicon I'm going to use to track AI usage, cost, and performance, critical for understanding what's working. So now the total investment for all these layers should not be more than $250 to $300 per month. And remember, I'm planning to charge clients $500 to $3,000 per month. So even with one client, I'm profitable on tools. here's my plan for actually learning all this. See, as you know, I'm not a developer. Remember, I'm coming from the business side, but after all my research, here's the path I'm taking. 2 to 3 hours daily, just experimenting with Claude, ChatGPT, building random stuff, getting comfortable with prompting, and understanding what AI can and cannot do. And the second week, I'm going to take a complete make.com course. I've found AI JSON's tutorials on YouTube. They are comprehensive. I'm going to build 5 to 10 practice automations until I really understand the logic. And the third week is all about integration practice, building my first complete chatbot, voice flow plus ChatGPT plus basic knowledge base. I'm going to build it for a fictional company and test it thoroughly. And the fourth week, I'm going to take everything I've learned and build one complete solution for a business or a friend's business, something I can show prospects, or I might do for myself actually. And I'm treating this like a part-time job, 15 to 20 hours per week, minimum for 30 days. And by day 30, I should be competent enough to take my first client. This is the plan. All right, so I'll have the skills and services, but here's the part that scared me most when researching. How do you actually get clients? I've studied what works, what doesn't, and I'm going to share my client acquisition strategy that's based on what I've seen consistently. I'll tell you what I'm going not to do. So based on my research, here are the strategies I'm deliberately avoiding. So the number one is cold emailing at scale. Everyone I talk to has said that this has terrible conversion rates for high-ticket services. Another one is generic LinkedIn posting. See, unless you already have an audience, this ain't gonna work because it will not work. And starting with paid ads immediately. That'll be too expensive to learn, and attribution is messy for B2B services. Another way is freelance marketplace. That's like race to bottom on pricing. And there are some serious clients out there, but it's just you're not gonna make any money. And my actual strategy is warm outreach plus case studies. And for that, the number one step I'm gonna take is build my first case study. And here's the plan. So I'm going to build one free project for someone I already know, not a random business, but someone I have a relationship with. And my pitch is going to be very simple. I'll just leave this pitch down so you can also use it. This is the pitch which I have used before in my companies with some clients, and this I've worked consistently in my previous avatar. And all I am going to ask them is, can I document the results and can I use it as a case study? And these will have 3 things basically: before and after metrics, a testimonial, permission to share the results. This gives me proof before I ever ask anyone for money. So once I have the case study, I'll go through my entire network and I'll do a warm outreach, conversations with people I actually know or have a second-degree connection to. And this will be my outreach message to them. I'll leave this in the description so that you can also use it if you want to use it. So my goal here will be to get at least 15 to 20 conversations scheduled. And based on my research, if I have real results to show and I'm talking to people who know me, I should be able to close 20% of them. That would be 3 to 4 clients at $3K to $5K each. That should be a decent start for this business. And the step 3 is content and community. So this is gonna start from week 1. I'm gonna have a Skool community, and while I'm doing direct outreach, I'm also going to start building a public presence. Not because it will get me clients immediately, but the research shows that it won't, but because it compounds. And my content plan is gonna be Instagram, 1 reel per week sharing what I'm learning and building, YouTube, which is basically this channel, documenting the entire journey. I'm planning to post 1 video at least weekly, and then to have a community, a Slack or a Discord group for my target niche, being genuinely helpful for the community out there. And this is going to take 5 to 7 hours per week. And I'm not expecting results for 2 to 3 months. But from what I have seen, this is what builds long-term inbound leads. Now the step 4 is partnership strategy. This is the strategy which I am most excited about because I haven't seen so many people talk about it. But the ones who did say about these things have told me that this have worked incredibly well for them. And I'm going to partner with agencies that serve my target market but don't offer AI services. So these partnerships include partnerships with marketing agencies, business consultants, web development agencies, CRM consultants, And I'm going to have a pitch for them as well, which again, I'm going to put it in the description if you want to use it. Now, the beauty of this is they already have client relationships. They already have trust. I'm just adding a new service to their offering and they get paid for making an introduction. Everyone wins. And my goal is to secure at least 2 to 3 solid partnerships by month 3. That's not a big ask. Now, here is something I learned from interviewing people who have done this before. See, landing clients is the easy part. The hardest part is delivering quality work without burning out. And let me share the delivery system I'm planning to use based on what I've learned from others' mistakes. See, I have reverse engineered this from successful agencies. And here's my plan. So phase 1 will be discovery, like any service agency. For every client, this is my process. So the first couple of days, I'll do a deep dive session where I understand the current process in detail, map out the actual workflow step by step, and then identify bottlenecks and pain points. And this is the phase where I set crystal clear success metrics. And in days 3 to 5, I'm going to do the documentation, which is when I create a detailed process document, design the automation workflow visually, and get the client sign off on the exact plan and set timeline with specific milestones. And I'm using Notion for all project documentation. And everything will be visible and everything will be trackable as well. Now, the phase 2 is where the build happens. This is where I actually build the solution. And the first couple of days, I'll do co-automation, build the basic workflow in Make or N8N or whichever platform is apt for the solution. And then the AI integration, connecting AI models, craft and test prompts, handle edge cases. And then run through every scenario I can think of. Break it, fix it, break it again. And then set up analytics, error tracking, and the performance monitoring. See, I'm planning to record myself building this, not just for content, but so I can review my own process and improve it. And the phase 3 will be handoff and training. And this is where I'm going to show them how to use it, monitor it, troubleshoot basic issues, and then the full documentation will be there with comprehensive guide on how the system works and how they can use it. And I'm going to be extra available during this period for questions because they will have questions for sure. And then there will be a monthly retainer, which includes the performance monitoring and optimization. There will be monthly results and reports, and there will be a priority support if they choose to have a premium tier subscription on a monthly basis, so that support will be there for them. Continuous improvements if at all needed. Now, my scaling plan for this business. Here's how I'm planning to scale without burning out. In the first stages where I have 1 to 3 clients, let's say, and I do everything myself, learn deeply, document obsessively, and then the stage 2 where I will have 4 to 6 clients, I'll turn the most common solutions into templates. Build once, customize for each client, but don't rebuild from scratch. The third stage where, assuming I will have 7 to 10 clients, I will hire a junior automation builder or a technical VA. Basically, that's to train them on templates. I focus on sales and strategy, and they focus on implementation. And then stage 4 is where I have 10 plus clients. I'll build a small team. I become the strategist and the business developer. And using the AI automation tools, I will automate 80% of the business itself. So this is the plan. Will it go exactly like this? Probably not. But having a plan gives me something to execute against and adjust as I learn. Okay, so from all the research, there's one mistake that keeps coming up, and I'm determined not to make it. It's this: saying yes to everything. And here's what happens. You land a client, they want a comprehensive AI solution, you are excited, you need the money, and you say yes to everything they ask for without really scoping it properly. Then you are drowning. The scope keeps growing, you are working 16 hours to 18 hours a day, quality suffers, the client gets frustrated, you get burned out, the project either fails or you deliver something mediocre. I've heard the story multiple times from at least 10 people I've talked to. And this will be my solution for the problem. I've created a bulletproof project agreement template. Before I start any project, we are defining the 1, 2, 3, 4 exact scope, what I'm building specifically, what is not included, clear deliverables, what does done look like, what are the acceptance criteria, realistic timeline, not aggressive, but realistic with buffer time, and never changing the order process. Anything outside scope requires a new proposal and additional cost. I know, this might seem rigid for some of you guys, but from what I've learned, this protects both me and the client, and it sets clear expectations, and the clients actually respect it. It shows that I'm a professional guy and I know what I'm doing. Alright, so here's my actual execution plan for the next 90 days. So month 1 is where I'm going to learn the foundation and learn the basics. This is where I finalize the niche, create service offerings, set up business basics, and in week 3 to 4, intensive learning sprint on tools, build practice projects, and then by month 2 I'll have the first revenue, and this is when I build the case study. I'll have warm outreach network, and the goal is to have 15 to 20 as I told you, and the target is to land my first paying customer by the second month. And in month 3 is where all the delivery and documentation happens. That is when I deliver those projects, get testimonials, document everything, start content creation in Instagram as well, begin partnership outreach, target 3 to 4 total clients. That's gonna give me at least 10K in MRR. And from month 4 to 6, I'll start scaling the business. And this is kind of the rough roadmap which I have. And this is when I'm gonna templatize solutions, ramp up content and partnership, consider first hire at most probably at client 7. And the goal is to have 5 to 10 clients in 4 to 5 months with an average MRR of 10K to 20K. Now, is this ambitious? Yes. Is it realistic? Based on my research, if I execute consistently, yes. Will things go wrong? Absolutely. But I have a plan and I'm going to work that plan. Look, I'm not going to pretend I have all the answers. I don't. I'm literally starting this journey. But I've done the research, I've studied what works and what doesn't. I have a plan and now I'm going to execute it. This channel is going to be real, unfiltered documentation of that journey, the wins, the losses, oh crap moments, all the mistakes which I'm going to do, and subscribe because every week I'm going to share what I learned throughout the journey. And in this channel, what I'm trying to do is I'll show you what I'm building and how I'm building it, client conversations with their permission if possible, real revenue numbers, total transparency, and tools that work and tools that don't, honest updates on what's actually happening in the AI space right now. Whether it's a bubble or whether it's going to burst and all those conspiracy theories. I'll try to be real as much as possible. Okay, so I've also created a free resource pack with everything I have shared today. My client outreach templates, project proposal template, tech stack breakdown, 30-day learning roadmap, and everything is in the link in the description. And this isn't a course. This isn't me pretending to be an expert also at the same time. This is me building something real in public and inviting you to come along for the ride. And some of you might even end up ahead of me, and that's awesome. So give me a favor, comment below if you were starting this and what would scare you the most. I want to know what you're thinking because chances I'm thinking the same thing. Let's do this. See you next week with my first update.